Welcome to CyberCEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. CyberCEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. All right, another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello, and we're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show right now. Tina, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you very much for asking, and of course for being on the show. We know you're very, very busy. So, for the benefit of everyone who's of course listening and watching, can you tell us something about yourself, Tina?
I am a mother of two, and I work real estate full time for the past 11 years. And I love this career, and I love the growth that I have in it, and looking forward to more future growth.
Wow, so 11 years in the real estate
11
business.
years,
So,
yes.
if you don't mind me asking, before you had your own cyberbacker supporting you in your business, did you have experience working with someone or working with someone virtually?
No, so I'm a solo agent by myself, and I'm looking to start a team right now. And a cyberbacker is my first hire. And it was very difficult, especially with two kids. I'm lucky that my husband is able to handle the two kids. So that took a lot off my plate, but I do miss family time. I'm the one that's away working, paperwork, running around. So there's always something that comes up. It's real estate.
Of
And it's
course.
yeah. So finally decided that I should hire Cyberbacker. At the time, I was mostly thinking of taking some time off of my hands so I can spend time with my kids. But it ended up boosting my business. I worked less. I doubled my business actually working less. I got time with my
Wow.
family, and I'm able to see more growth in the future. So
Well,
now I'm
imagine
excited.
imagine
Yeah.
working less but doubling your business. So,
Yes.
if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been working with your cyberbacker, Gia?
Since the last, no, so November of 2020 is when I hired.
November of 2020. Now,
Yeah,
my next question is, how's the experience been so far working with your own cyberbacker?
it's been great. I mean, when I first hired her, she's part-time, because I wasn't sure how much time I needed. Like I said, I've never hired before, so it's a learning process for me. But as time progressed, I switched her to full-time now, because now I have more tasks for her to do. And again, because of the growth, I need her full-time. It's easier to actually give her more tasks because
Hmm.
she is full-time now.
Okay, that's good to hear then. So, let me ask you as well, what can you tell me about your cyberbacker? Maybe personality-wise, the days you spent working together, things like that.
So when I first hired her, I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just knew that I needed help with social media, so I was looking mainly for somebody that's good with social media. Making flyers, or Photoshop, the things that takes a lot of time. But I'm not a graphic designer. I don't want to hire per job because that also is stressful and costs a lot of money. And she could help me set up with the system. So I was mainly looking for someone that sent in a really pretty resume that caught my eye. And that stood out. And when I spoke with her, I liked her background. She seemed very motivated to work. And she seemed very honest, and that's I didn't really put too much thought into it. But of course, there is a learning process for me, and I think in the beginning it felt very, very flustered,
Hmm.
because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a structure. So it did take some time for that structure to kind of slowly get into place. And I'm still learning the structure right now, and still she's learning as well. So we're growing together. I think a lot of people coming in, that their expectation is that, oh, I get a cyberbacker and I have an assistant and they should know what they need to do. But it has a lot to do with you as the agent to lead them to go the right direction and do the things that you want them to do. And that's more of my fault than her fault. And then I've learned that I've become a better leader because of that, and she's became a much better assistant because of that too.
Of course, I love what you mentioned earlier. For you to be able to grow, because again, for the both of you to grow, I mean, because this type of a relationship is always going to be a two-way relationship, right? If she
Yes,
grows, you grow. If you grow, she
yes.
grows as well. So, what makes this type of a virtual relationship work? What makes it a successful partnership, Tina?
Having a defined structure of what you want out of her. So like I said in the beginning, I just wanted her for graphic design. Well, that didn't, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's going to take a couple of months for her to finish. No, she finished in a week.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, oh, now I have, like, I was actually stressed out in the beginning because I needed to give her tasks, and I didn't have tasks to give her because I didn't have the structure, and I didn't know what I wanted her to do. So now I have a standard of it, basically a task list that's written out, that she has, everything from handling disclosures or even CMAs, scheduling appointments for me for a tour, things like she does all of that now.
Oh, so you already have somewhat of like a manual on how to do things for your business, is that right?
Yes, you definitely need to write that down. I would say the first thing that for anybody that's looking to hire is write down exactly what you want them to do first.
All
And,
right.
don't think that, oh, I'm giving them too much. Maybe I shouldn't write too much. Write down everything that you want in an assistant.
Yes, and they would be handling that for you, of course. Now,
Yes, yes.
my next question is how much additional revenue has your cyberbacker made you?
Oh gosh. So one of the main things, and this is during the time where I don't have the structure, but
Okay.
I wanted to reach out to my social media. So I told her to reach out to everybody on my social media list, even people that I haven't talked to for like 10, 15 years, because I know I'm my own worst enemy. So even though that's my plan for the longest time, but because I personally know these people, and sometimes I start thinking like, oh, they may not want to contact me, or, maybe they'll delete me off as a friend if I start reaching out for a sales pitch. And I just needed to get myself out of that picture.
hmm
So I told her, here's the standard message that I want you to send to everybody. And it's asking for business, asking for referrals. And don't let me just do it. I don't even know who, like, she just started doing it. And all of a sudden I started getting messages back, and I'm the one that takes over. She logs into my login. And I started seeing people responding, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's a really good response from majority everybody. They either don't respond, or they say, oh, definitely, I'll keep you in mind when I'm looking for to buy or sell, or hey, you found me, I'm in the market now. We're just talking about it with, my family. And that alone brought me 6 figures.
Wow,
Yeah,
imagine. And you
yeah,
already mentioned this earlier. You already doubled what you were
yeah,
earning from last year.
yeah.
Imagine. Now, how about the time factor? How much time has she saved? Because you mentioned earlier that you've been
Hmm.
working less with your cyberbacker.
Yes. Yes, so I have more time with my family, but now that she's handling more of the items that, the tedious work, even though I'm still working, but I'm working on things that's more lead generation. So I'm out there networking. I'm spending more time caring for my clients on a more personal level, and I'm getting more referrals. So I'm more focused on servicing my clients now, and also that the clients could feel and see, and also spending more time with my family.
Of course, imagine, especially in the real estate world, creating or building on those relationships is very, very important, right?
It's very important. Yes.
Yes. Now, you already mentioned that your cyberbacker is currently managing your social media. Now, what
Yes.
are the other things that you have her do for your business?
So I mentioned a few earlier. So she runs all the CMA, the comparative market analysis, for me. She preps for online appointments. So for buyer appointments, she'll call and schedule the tour for the day, and she'll contact the agents. She'll request for the disclosures. And then for if they want to write an offer, she'll run all the reports. Of course, I review them to make sure that it's right, but she does the initial. And now, I trust her enough where I trust her numbers. Or in the beginning, of course, you do kind of have to make sure she's doing it correctly, right? And she preps my listing appointments for me. So all I have to do is skim over the numbers and press print, and have my package ready, and I'm off to the appointment.
Oh, so a lot of the admin tasks then mostly,
A lot
right?
of the admin
Of course.
tests,
Okay.
yeah. And I know every market is a little different. She also kind of doubles up as a transaction coordinator as well. So she handles the disclosure signings. She doesn't obviously talk to the clients
Of
or
course.
explain the disclosures, but she'll set it up for DocuSign and send it off, because that takes a lot of time. It's tedious. You know, you drag and drop signature boxes, and and it'll take 30 minutes out of your day just to do that. So she handles all of that for me.
Oh, wow, so a lot of things that she doesn't. But my next question is, what are some of the things or the tasks that you're thinking about giving her or letting her do for your business? Because you and I can both agree, right, that her role could still grow in the next few months.
Yes. So one of the main reasons I switched her to full-time is because, because when she's part-time, I will have to fill in the gap when she's not here. And there are tasks where I don't want her to start halfway and then I have to figure out the rest, where it ends. So she went full-time, and now I'm looking into transferring my phone, inbound phone call to her so that she could be the initial pickup. And that way, um, you could screen calls, we could prioritize the calls, and then I'll get back to the client or whoever, either right away, or if it's something that could wait, we could schedule it out.
Well, somewhat of like getting messages for you, some important messages when you're not
Yes,
available. Is that right?
right,
Okay.
exactly. So that way somebody's always picking up the phone. And she's also able to sort out some spam calls for me too, of course. and
Yes.
in our industry, we get so much because our numbers is blasted everywhere.
So of course that's gonna save you more time, right? Again,
Yes,
of course. Now,
yes.
my next question is a bit tough. What have
Mhm.
been some of the challenges that you've had working with Cyberbacker, or let's say opportunities for growth?
Um, growth for, to define that a little bit. What do you mean by growth?
Growth for you, or maybe growth for
Oh,
your Cyberbacker, for the relationship, the partnership, things like
sure.
that.
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, it's still in a way difficult, but it's not difficult in a sense that she's difficult, in a sense that I'm learning about myself and my leadership skills and the way I lead. So there's a lot of personal growth for me as well. I feel like it forced me to put a system in place, right? So that I'm a better communicator, and it forced me to lead whoever that comes in. So I'm starting to have a team next year, and she's helping me with that. And now, because of her, I know how to do the hiring process and know what my expectations should be, because I've kind of practiced on her. Yeah.
Now, one last thing, Tina. What advice would you be able to give other business owners when they're hiring their own cyberbacker, aside from what you mentioned earlier, that create that list, all of the things that you want them to do?
So the list is more of a task item, right? The other item that you need to create is standard. So standard for your business, what you expect, you have to be more firm about what are the things that you are okay with or you're not okay with. And you need to be upfront with your cyberbacker, because if you're not, then there'll be miscommunications, there'll be resentments, and there'll be definitely a lot more issues. You wouldn't be happy and they wouldn't be happy.
Of
So you need to
course.
set that standard where, if they're late or if they don't do something in time, there needs to have conversation.
Hmm. Of course.
Right?
So,
Mhm.
proper expectations to the cyberbacker, and of course, that task list. Now,
Yes.
I know that your cyberbacker Gia is listening to us right now. Would you want to give her a quick shout out on the show?
Oh, yeah. Hi, hi, Gia.
There you go. So, thank you very much for being on the show today. We are very excited, of course, to see where this partnership would be in the next few months and the years to come. Tina, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.